In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 16, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Orlando Magic versus Cleveland Cavaliers. It's an Eastern Conference showdown happening on the hardwood near the shores of Lake Erie as the Orlando Magic go head-to-head with the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday afternoon. Orlando is coming off a tough road loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where they fell 118-111 on Friday night. Despite the loss, they did manage to cover the spread as an 11-point underdog. Meanwhile, Cleveland handled their business against Memphis, securing a 133-124 road victory that same night. The Cavaliers entered that matchup as a slight 2-point favorite and easily covered the line. Historically, Cleveland has had the upper hand in this series, holding a 67-61 advantage in all-time regular season meetings. The Cavs have also taken the last 2 matchups between these teams, including a dominant 122-82 road win on February 25th. Orlando continues to deal with injury concerns as Jalen Suggs has been ruled out again. Additionally, Cole Anthony is listed as questionable, leaving his status uncertain. On the other side, the Cavaliers are monitoring the availability of 2 key players, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, both of whom are also listed as questionable. The Cavaliers have consistently outperformed the Magic in recent matchups, including their last head-to-head meeting, where they dismantled Orlando by 40 points even without Darius Garland in the lineup. Cleveland has been the most potent offensive team in the league this season, and their defensive play has been just as impressive. Riding an incredible 16-game winning streak, the Cavs continue to prove they are the top team in the NBA. Their depth has been a major factor in their success, with contributions coming from all over the roster. Meanwhile, Orlando has struggled mightily on the offensive end all season long, ranking dead last in the league in points per game. The Magic are also the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA, lacking consistent scoring options outside of Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. While both young players show promise, Orlando simply does not have the offensive weapons to keep up with Cleveland's high-powered attack. This game is a classic case of 2 teams trending in completely opposite directions. Orlando sits at the very bottom of the league when it comes to scoring, 3-point makes per game, and 3-point shooting percentage. Conversely, Cleveland leads the NBA in scoring and 3-point shooting, while ranking second in 3-pointers made and overall field goal percentage. While the Magic are a capable defensive team, they are missing 2 of their 4 double-digit scorers due to injuries. Adding to their woes, Orlando has dropped 7 of their last 9 games and has struggled on the road all year, posting a 13-21 record away from home. Facing off against the best team in the Eastern Conference, which boasts a near-perfect 30-4 home record and is currently on a 16-game winning streak, is a challenge the Magic simply are not built to handle. Orlando's struggles on offense have made winning games a tough task, and their recent form has not been encouraging. The Magic have failed to cover the spread in 6 of their last 9 games. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers keep rolling, consistently winning and positioning themselves for the top seed in the NBA. With a cover rate of 64.6%, the Cavs have been one of the most reliable teams against the spread, ranking second best in the league. As long as they keep winning and covering, there's no reason to bet against them. Sometimes, betting is as straightforward as riding the hot hand, and Cleveland is the hottest team in basketball right now. I'll keep backing them until they prove otherwise. Before locking in any bets, it's always smart to check the final lineups before tip-off, as Donovan Mitchell's status could influence the spread for this game. However, even if Mitchell is out, the Magic have been in a prolonged slump and are still dealing with key injuries. Cleveland, on the other hand, has more than enough depth to handle this game, with Garland capable of stepping up in Mitchell's absence. Simply put, I see no value in backing the Magic, and I will continue to fade them. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Orlando's offensive struggles are well documented, as they rank dead last in the league in scoring. Over their last 10 games, the Magic have managed to slightly improve their scoring output, averaging 106 points per game, which is still nearly 2 points better than their season average. However, they remain near the bottom of the league in pace, averaging just 96.2 possessions per game, ranking second lowest overall. Their offensive efficiency has also been among the worst in the league. Meanwhile, Cleveland continues to dominate offensively, leading the NBA in scoring while averaging 123 points per game over their last 10 contests. Their pace is much higher, ranking 5th in the league at 100.1 possessions per game, and they hold the top spot in offensive efficiency. The previous two meetings between these teams have split in relation to the total points. However, with Orlando struggling offensively and missing a couple of their key scorers, this game is likely to come in under the projected total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia 76ers versus Dallas Mavericks. The Philadelphia 76ers are set to take on the Dallas Mavericks in a cross-conference battle on Sunday afternoon. Philadelphia is coming off a tough loss at home to the Indiana Pacers in their last outing, while Dallas is also entering this matchup after dropping a road game against the Houston Rockets on Friday night. Earlier this season, the 76ers managed to edge out the Mavericks with a narrow 118-116 victory in their first meeting. Both teams continue to deal with a slew of injuries that have significantly impacted their lineups. The 76ers remain without key players such as Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey, which has left them struggling to find consistency. On the other hand, the Mavericks are also shorthanded, missing the likes of Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and Dante Exum. With so many stars sidelined, both teams are being forced to rely on role players and depth pieces to carry the load. The Mavericks' defensive struggles have been a recurring theme, and their latest performance against the Rockets did nothing to change that narrative. Allowing 133 points in a single game was just another entry in a concerning trend, marking the 8th straight game in which they've given up at least 120 points. If they continue to play such porous defense, winning, let alone covering the spread, will be an uphill battle. Meanwhile, Philadelphia will benefit from the return of Quentin Grimes, who was absent in their last game but had put up at least 25 points in each of his previous 3 appearances. With Grimes leading the offense, the Mavericks may have a tough time containing his scoring ability, especially given their ongoing defensive woes. Over the last 10 games, the 76ers have actually outperformed the Mavericks in a few key statistical categories, including true shooting percentage and rebounding percentage. The rebounding disparity is particularly important, as Dallas ranks dead last in the league in that area. This presents a major opportunity for Philadelphia to dominate the glass and create second-chance opportunities. Additionally, the Mavericks have struggled to defend the paint, ranking near the bottom of the league in opponent points in the paint over their last 10 outings. If the 76ers can capitalize on that weakness and consistently get to the rim, they should be able to keep this game competitive from start to finish. This is one of those matchups that almost feels like a joke, considering how both teams are free-falling in the standings while dealing with a never-ending list of injuries. Things are so bad in Dallas that there have been rumors they might be forced to forfeit games if their roster situation gets any worse. Meanwhile, the 76ers essentially threw in the towel weeks ago, as their injury report is just as long. Given all of this, it's hard to understand why either team is being considered a big favorite in this game. At this point, neither of these teams is fielding a roster that truly belongs in an NBA game, so the fact that the Mavericks are laying a significant number of points is baffling. Personally, I'd stay away from this game altogether, but if I had to make a pick, I'd lean toward taking the points with the 76ers on the road. Dallas simply shouldn't be favored by this much, regardless of their opponent. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Philadelphia has been putting up points at a decent clip recently, averaging 112 per game over its last 5 contests, which is slightly above their season average. In their first meeting with Dallas, they managed to score 118 points. On the flip side, the Mavericks' defense has been an absolute mess, surrendering 122 or more points in each of their last 5 games. Dallas also has a tendency to lean heavily on the three-point shot, attempting an average of 44 threes per game, which ranks among the highest in the league. Their fast pace of play further contributes to high-scoring affairs. The 76ers haven't exactly been a defensive juggernaut either, allowing 118 or more points in 4 of their last 5 road games. The over has hit in 4 of Dallas' last 5 matchups, which further supports the expectation of a high-scoring contest. Everything points to this game turning into a shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Phoenix Suns versus Los Angeles Lakers. The NBA regular season keeps rolling along, bringing us another exciting lineup of games on Sunday, March 16th. With the season winding down, every game carries extra weight, especially for teams fighting for playoff positioning or just trying to build some momentum. The Phoenix Suns come into this matchup with an overall record of 31-36, a mark that reflects a season filled with inconsistency and missed opportunities. Over their last 11 games, they've struggled, dropping 7 of those contests and failing to establish any sort of rhythm. On the other side, the Los Angeles Lakers sit at 40-25, but they're dealing with their own issues. Despite their winning record, they're in the midst of a rough patch, currently stuck in a 4-game losing streak. Injuries have played a major role in their recent struggles, with key players sidelined over the past few weeks, making it harder for them to stay competitive. Both teams are dealing with absences that could have a big impact on how this game plays out. The Suns will once again be without Grayson Allen and Nick Richards, while the Lakers have ruled out Gabe Vincent, LeBron James, and Jackson Hayes. For Phoenix, it's been a frustrating stretch where they just haven't been able to generate any momentum. However, they managed to break out of their slump with a much-needed victory over the Sacramento Kings on Friday, which could serve as a confidence boost heading into this game. Despite their recent struggles, the Suns might feel good about their chances against a Lakers team missing multiple key players. That said, Los Angeles is still considered the favorite in this matchup, even though they're far from full strength. They nearly pulled off an upset against the Denver Nuggets recently, which should give them some belief that they can get back on track. If there's one team that has failed to live up to expectations this season, it's the Suns. Given their talent level, they've been the most disappointing squad in the league and have been vocal about their shortcomings all year. On top of their underwhelming record, they've also been a nightmare for bettors, covering the spread just 26 times in 67 games. The Lakers are getting the benefit of the doubt from oddsmakers, likely because they're playing at home. The problem is that they're currently on a 4-game losing streak and are still dealing with multiple injuries. Still, as bad as the Suns have been, they aren't entirely out of the mix just yet. They're only 1.5 games behind the final play-in spot, currently held by a Dallas Mavericks team that might be facing serious trouble if they're forced to forfeit games. That means this is a golden opportunity for Phoenix to close the gap and put themselves back in postseason contention. Adding to their case, the Suns have had success against the Lakers in recent history, winning 4 of their last 5 matchups. As our first pick for this matchup, the Phoenix Suns to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to betting on the total, the Suns have been involved in more high-scoring games than not this season. However, that's largely because of their defensive struggles rather than any sort of offensive firepower. Phoenix plays at one of the slower paces in the league, ranking as the 6th slowest team in terms of possessions per game. The Lakers aren't much different, coming in as the 10th slowest team. On top of that, Los Angeles actually plays respectable defense, ranking 11th in the league in points allowed per game. The numbers also point toward a lower-scoring game. The under has hit in 34 of the Lakers' 65 games this season, and in their last 10 contests, the under has cashed 6 times. Given both teams' pace of play and the Lakers' defensive capabilities, it wouldn't be surprising to see this one fall below the projected total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Toronto Raptors versus Portland Trail Blazers. Toronto will be looking to secure their 4th straight road victory when they travel to Moda Center for a Sunday night showdown against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Raptors have been finding ways to win despite their struggles this season, and they'll aim to keep their momentum going. Toronto is coming off an impressive 126-118 victory over the Utah Jazz, winning as 2-point underdogs. Their offense has been clicking lately, which has helped them stay competitive. On the other hand, Portland suffered a tough 114-113 loss to the New York Knicks, falling just short despite being 3.5-point underdogs. The Trail Blazers have had a tough stretch recently, and they'll need to bounce back quickly if they want to get back on track. History, however, favors Portland in this matchup, as they have won 7 of their last 10 meetings against Toronto. In terms of injuries, the Raptors will once again be without Emmanuel Quickley, who remains sidelined. They are also monitoring the status of Jonathan Mogbo and Ochai Agbaji, both of whom are listed as questionable. Meanwhile, the Trail Blazers will be without Dean Ayton, and they are keeping a close eye on Jerami Grant, who is considered day-to-day. Despite their injury woes, the Raptors have managed to keep winning games, thanks in part to key contributions from players like A.J. Lawson and Scotty Barnes. The Trail Blazers, however, have struggled mightily, losing 6 of their last 7 games. One advantage for Portland is that they should be well-rested, as they haven't played since Wednesday. Toronto has been in great form lately, winning 6 of their last 7 games. The same cannot be said for Portland, which has dropped 5 straight contests. The Raptors seem to have the upper hand in this matchup, largely due to their efficiency on offense. Over their last 3 games, they have shot the ball well, making over 46% of their field goal attempts. In contrast, Portland has connected on just 43% of their shots during the same span. The Raptors have also been strong on the glass, grabbing more than 18 offensive rebounds per game over their last 3 contests, which has led to valuable second chance points. Another key factor is their ball security. They have cut down on turnovers, which limits easy scoring opportunities for their opponents. The Trail Blazers, meanwhile, have been abysmal defensively, surrendering more than 120 points per game in their last 3 outings. Given these trends, it's hard to see Portland effectively slowing down Toronto's attack. At first glance, it might be easy to overlook the Raptors, considering their injury situation and the fact that they have won just 8 games on the road this season. However, the Trail Blazers' recent struggles cannot be ignored. After briefly catching fire, Portland has cooled off just as quickly, dropping 5 straight games. Meanwhile, the Raptors have won 6 of their last 7, covered the spread in 7 of their last 9 games, and have quietly worked their way into the play-in conversation. Despite their solid track record against the spread this season, boasting a strong 40-26-1 record, odds makers continue to undervalue them by offering lines like this. It simply doesn't add up. As our first pick for this matchup, the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Recent trends suggest this game has the potential to be high scoring. The Raptors have played over the total in 3 of their last 4 games. On the season, they are averaging 111 points per game and play at the 7th fastest pace in the league, logging an average of 103.7 possessions per game. They will be facing a Portland defense that has been porous lately, allowing 121 points per game over their last 3 contests. The Trail Blazers, meanwhile, average 111 points per game and play at the 14th fastest pace in the league, averaging 102.9 possessions per game. They will be facing a Toronto team that has struggled defensively on the road, surrendering an average of 116 points per game. When these teams have met in the past, the over has hit in 4 of their last 7 matchups. Given all these factors, the potential for another high-scoring affair seems likely. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.